Okay, from the top, from the top.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Prashant and Olinda in the
Krishan and Nolan in
morning.
the morning.
This broadcast is Chungy approved.
All right, this is the first ever 12 Clan podcast. We're making
I'm
history
so
here.
excited.
So I don't really know what to talk about. I don't watch or listen to podcasts on my own at all. I just got informed that I'd be doing this. So, happy to be here. Proud to be representing 12 Clan. You know?
Clan represent.
Exactly.
Uh,
So, do
and
we have
Baba
any
News.
Baba News?
Baba,
Okay, I'd like to hear this.
Baba News segment. Today I got 1 hour of sleep. That's all.
What did you do for the entire other time that you were supposed to be sleeping?
I was sitting.
Sitting or sinning?
I was sitting in my bed, looking at the wall. I was staring at it. You know, like the video of the rat eating the M&M, the sad
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
I was listening to the sad music.
Oh, that's huh. Wow. Did you see New York's like air quality from us? Like,
I
cause you know
know that's
how we have fires? You know, like the average like okay air quality is around like 100 is when it starts to get bad, and they were at like 405 or something the other day I checked.
New
It's
York's been through worse.
yeah, they gotta deal with themselves every day. But they've had Spider-Man, so it makes up for it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well, it looked like a Breaking Bad episode in there.
yeah, it was crazy. Like it looked like the generic Mexico filter that they put over movies to make it all orange and huey. Dude, Breaking
That's
Bad is a good
crazy.
show.
I love
What's
Breaking Bad.
what's your favorite character from that show?
Nacho.
Nacho? Was he in Breaking Bad? I thought he was just in Better Call Saul.
No, he was in Better Call Saul, but I like
Oh.
Nacho.
Yeah, Nacho is a good character. His dad was pretty lit. I enjoyed his presence, just hanging out. That's crazy.
Dude, why?
I didn't think that.
Would the podcast host like a topic?
Sure,
Okay.
we
Yes.
could get that going.
Would you ever think about going vegan?
Vegan. I have a friend who's
Hell
vegan.
no. Hell no, boy.
I have a friend that's vegan. His name's Tomas. He's in Harry's Foods class. I don't know, cause like isn't vegan like going vegan? The whole point of it is to like preserve animal health, but like when you farm for tofu and soybeans, like the farmers have to kill every single animal that goes into the field. So like they're pretty much just sitting there like watching all of the animals come into the field, and they have to shoot them. So like
Yeah, instead of shooting the animals, just like put them in my belly.
okay, yeah, exactly. But like what I mean by that is like if there's like a squirrel or something or like a rodent that comes onto the field, they immediately shoot it. Like it's not allowed on there. So I feel like sure like slaughterhouses may be unethical, but when there's like homegrown like butchered animals like on farms, I don't feel like it's that bad because like goats for example, they produce milk for like I don't know 3 years, 4 years. I'm not a big goat guy. Couldn't tell you. But after they're done making milk and they're all done, the farmers just tend to like kill them and eat them. I don't think that'd be such a horrible life to live. Let's
Yeah.
dig deep into your thoughts on that
Like-
opinion.
The bees are all dying. To think about it, do you know how many bees that the farmers have to like kill and go through to like
For,
make the avocado?
for pesticides, yeah.
You know, it's like mass genocide for bees.
Yeah, it's like all farming just has downsides, but like specific farming, like speaking like okay, so I saw this the other day. I don't know what I was on, but I saw it on McDonald's. McDonald's, you know how they have like the really long fries compared to other places? They
Oh yeah, the long fry.
Yeah, they only use like a specific type of potato. They refuse to buy any other type. And they only buy the potato when it has no like blemishes on it. It's a russet Burbank potato, and they're normally pretty long. They're already difficult to grow, but to get them without blemishes, you have to like kill every aphid. Like you cannot let an aphid touch the potato, or it's ruined in terms of like McDonald's standards. So you have to spray this pesticide, and for 5 days straight, farmers don't come out of their houses into the fields because of how toxic the pesticide is. And then once the crop is done, they put them in like a reacclimation chamber that's the size of like a football field to like degas these potatoes so you don't die when you eat them. I just think it's crazy that like consumerism is, you need to have this certain potato that's so horrible to make.
Dude, that like I mean, if you're killing one animal for farming, I'm gonna kill them all. Okay, we're already over the deep end. All I'm saying is if we weren't allowed to eat cows, why are they made out of food? You ever think of that?
You know, it's not a bad point. I don't mind having a good old burger every once in a while.
Yeah, but I see where they're coming from though, because farming is super unethical.
Yeah,
Like or like well,
a lot of
depending on
like
the farm, but yeah, but like most of the
yeah,
time it's unethical.
especially like main. I think majority of it is like fast food restaurants because their suppliers are usually very unethical in terms of
Yeah.
like production wise because they kind of just have a like for chicken restaurants like Raising Cane's or something. I don't know if it's for them exactly, but I know there's for chickens they just have long box coops of chickens that can like they just nonstop produce eggs, so they all grow up in there and then they just get slaughtered. Like it's a nonstop cycle of just living in a box and then dying after having a few kids.
Dude, and like the cows, like it's like they just stand their whole lives. They like stand and sit in one spot, like one like barely big enough for them spot, and then just
Yeah,
die.
yeah, like in the big slaughterhouses, they kind of get just fed through a conveyor belt, whereas a lot of
That's
the
crazy.
time they're just standing in a. Same with like dairy farms sometimes, because a lot of them I know like the documentaries they just show like the bad parts, but they do stand around in like the stables where they get milked for so long and just they can't do anything. Like they just stand there. A lot of them are like a bit more ethical though, because I've been to a few of them. There was only one that I really disagreed with, but the other ones had pretty open pastures when they released the cows, so that wasn't a horrible thing to go and like look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got any other topics we're supposed to talk about here?
Yes.
All right.
Hit me.
Where do you get your food from?
Where the food grows.
Like the grocery store brand or whatever.
Yeah, like
Like
where do you get that kind of
what
food from? Like grocery store?
grocery store? Well, I mean, I'm getting chickens again soon, so I'll be eating my own chicken and eggs. Have a garden where we get most of our vegetables from. We grow a lot of fruit there too. So, you know,
Dude,
other
I
than
go to the
that,
Save on Food and buy samosa.
other than that, we usually wait. We go to Costco every few months because it's not in town, and then we just bring a big cooler and get all the stuff we need because it's cheaper there, and then just make it last until we need to go again. That's that's where I get most of our food. If we just have to do like quick shopping though, Freshco is pretty close and it's supposedly good for like good for things. I haven't really looked into much of Freshco's background, but I've heard good things about it. However, Harry's mom does work at the Save On Bakery, and I do enjoy going there to get some baked goods sometimes. What's
I have
what's
good news for all 12ers right now.
what's the breaking news?
My brace, I broke my brace like just before we got here. On my face, my one of my brackets broke, and it's like been like embedded in my gums, and I finally got it out.
That is a very good thing to hear.
I
I
am
always
no longer
forget.
in pain.
I forget that you have braces.
I forget to.
I don't feel like I could forget. Like, I don't know. If I had metal in my mouth, I don't know that I could forget because I'm always like doing the things with my tongue in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
feeling the irregularities of my
Like
teeth.
your tongue's like breakdancing in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way
Oh,
to put it.
eventually, like you just get used to it, and it's like a normal thing.
I got when I got my 3 teeth pulled, they were supposed to put in braces just there, but it was supposed to be like a chain because my tooth cut isn't coming in exactly straight or whatever. But I didn't do that because I feel like having braces in rugby is not a very great idea.
Yeah, they don't mix.
Yeah. So I just decided I'd deal with that later in my life when I needed to fix my teeth if I needed to.
Yeah, like honestly, braces are kind of like, unless it's like really bad, they're kind of unnecessary. Because me personally, I don't notice like people's teeth being perfectly straight or not. Like unless
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't.
really bad.
Yeah, like unless your teeth are like everywhere, I don't really tend to notice all that much about like inside your mouth. I'm not looking that hard. Unless it's like you're personally insecure about it, I don't really see like the issue with it, you know?
I'm also supposed to wear elastics, right? And they make it
Oh,
so like you
yeah.
have like a speech, like a permanent debuff of speech impediment.
When you just
You
call a
can't,
speech
can't say
impediment
it.
a debuff, you can't be doing that.
Well, it is. I'm gonna call it like I see it on. It's a
Okay,
debuff.
go for it.
And
Go for it.
anyways, I don't wear them anymore, right? Because I just hate them like being in my mouth.
Yeah.
And then like the doctor, the dentist are like, "Oh, you've been wearing your elastics. Keep it up." I wasn't. I'm not.
There is like certain patterns that like show like what goes on, like whether or not you follow their instructions, but I guess sometimes they get fooled because
Bamboozled.
I've been told like if you engage in some intimacy with a partner, usually it's of the female variant that suffers the consequences, or could be male too. You know, I've uh I have no issue with it, but there can be bruising in your soft palate from partaking in some activities, and dentists can tell exactly like how long ago it was from just looking inside your mouth, and I think that's like crazy. Like there's bruising in your mouth and the dentist tells exactly when it was.
Dude, I don't think my dentists get paid enough to notice that. I'm gonna be real.
Dude, dentists get paid crazy. Like I've since I was little, I kind of just considered dentistry because you know, it's already medical field and it looks sort of fun. As well as the fact that I would not go broke, hopefully.
Like having like your full PhD for being like a dentist is actually it's such a free job. Like for checkups, all you have to do is like walk in there and like look in there. I'm like, yeah, that seems about right. Back it up.
Yeah. Scrape
Done with
around
it.
on some teeth and then you're good.
Put your fingers in there. Pretend you're doing something. Yeah.
I hate when doctors try to, like dentists, I mean, try to talk to you and their fingers are just like their entire fist is just in your mouth. It's like, oh, how's your day today? What'd you do?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. You have to speak. I just
hate
dislike it. I dislike that fact, and I have a personal vendetta against every dentist who's ever done that to me. I uh, I appreciate people who do like services though. I had this barber when I was little. I don't really remember his name. I know it was something cool. I think it might have been like Pharaoh.
Tyrone.
No, I think it was Pharaoh because
I
he.
think it was Tyrone. Personally.
Okay, go for it. I think it was Pharaoh, and he was so awesome. I remember I used to hate going to the barber because like the electric buzzer freaked me out. I thought it was always gonna cut my ears off, and then he went up to me, he held the buzzer and just like ran it into his ear like 4 times, and made me realize that it wasn't gonna cut my head. He was awesome. Loved Pharaoh. I hope he's still doing good.
I used to have a barber, and then apparently I was like, I was just like sitting there talking to him like normally, and then he's like, "Wow, you're the best kid I've ever had to cut hair." I'm like, "Dude, I'm just like standing here. I didn't do anything like special." And he bought me water balloons,
That's so awesome, dude.
but it was like suspicious water balloons. Or like
Pharaoh.
those like Ziploc baggies, right?
Oh no.
And then there's like three water balloon, three balloons.
Dude.
Where did the other ones go?
Pharaoh never bought me anything like that, but you know, he was still cool. I liked him. He gave me advice. I used to have freckles like a lot when I was younger. They were so crazy everywhere. And he used to call them kisses from God or something, or from the sun. And it made me feel cool because like that meant that the sun touched me. Wait, no, pause. No, no. Okay, the sun. I'm not gonna speak because I can't find a way to phrase this. But you know what I mean. Yeah. Producer, do we have any more prompts?
Yes.
All right.
Do you think vegans are weird?
There's only one vegan that I've ever like talked to in person. All the rest of them are just like vegetarians or pescatarians. But there's one vegan, same guy I was talking about earlier, Tomas. He's very very open with people about how he feels about them, and I enjoy that about him. You know, he doesn't hide anything. If he dislikes a person, he makes it very known to them. Not in like a horribly mean way, but he makes it apparent that him as a person doesn't enjoy their presence. You know, so he can be a little strange at times, but I think we all can.
I don't know, man. Like, okay, I know this one girl who shall not be named, but she's I don't know. It's like she's vegan, but she's like weird as a person. Like besides being vegan, but like it's like a factor.
I feel like people who make it their entire personality,
Yeah, that's weird.
then it starts to like kind of irritate me because it just be yourself. Don't try and be everything.
I don't
But
know.
you know, I don't know. It's whatever.
If
Let's,
you don't make it like your mission to like make
yeah,
everybody
like
vegan, I'm cool with it.
if you just enjoy it on your own, like that's how I feel about Tomas, because he just chills out. You know, he sits on his own. He doesn't force it on anybody. He doesn't make it known to everybody. But you know, he don't eat animals or animal byproducts. He eats tofu. I don't think I've ever actually had tofu. Now that I think about it, I don't. I used to think toffee phase, those chocolate, were made out of tofu.
Really?
Yeah, like I just saw the same first 3 letters when I was little, and then I never thought anything about it later in life. It was like, oh, it must be tofu, but they weren't, and I've never had tofu. Isn't it just like chickpeas or soybeans
Yeah,
or something?
it's like soybeans and oils and
Hey, producer, can we get a fact check on this? What's
Fact check on
what's tofu made
chickpeas?
of? What's tofu made out of? Can you pull up a picture of some tofu?
yeah.
Give me a
Can you describe the tofu to me?
describe the texture of that tofu. What's your opinion on what tofu's made out of? Cause I don't know if it's like soybeans or what.
Tofu is made from
Or, like-
condensed soy milk in a similar process to cheese making. It's often made from GMO soybeans. So if you're worried about GMOs, organic
Tofu.
tofu is your best option.
Oh. What about like what's that one I was thinking about? Isn't tempeh? I don't know.
What's
Tempeh.
tempeh?
I think
is
it's
that?
also like a sort of a I don't know if it's vegan, but I think it's Indonesian. Because I think that's from like fermented soybeans or something. It's just always intrigued me how it looks because it's all like bumpy. It's weird. Same with like miso.
Miso's good though.
Yeah, it's just soybean paste. I've always, soybean paste. It's weird. Like soybeans are just a cool creation.
Dude,
Oh, have
people
you
use
seen?
soybean paste so wrong, like all the time. It's crazy, like how much I'll see people just like I'm gonna put it in the water and I have miso soup. That's not
Yeah,
how it works.
that's
Like,
not miso soup, man.
that's just
Yeah.
flavored water.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't know the name of it. But on TikTok, you ever see like those Japanese foods? It's soybeans with like that like slimy stuff. And then like hold on. I'll see if I can find it right now. Try and find the name. I know it's soybeans. Like that's why I brought it up. I know it's also soybeans, but like it kind of looks like sticky rice. Like it's served with rice, but it looks like if you just hold it up, it's a ball. Like it sticks together. I think it's. Oh, is this it? Yeah, I think it's natto. Like Natt and then O with like a little accent over it. Dude, it looks
Let
so cool. Like I've always wanted to try it. It looks
let me search this. Natto.
Natto. Like, you ever seen those things on TikTok? Cause
Oh,
yeah,
oh, oh, oh,
yeah, dude, they
oh.
look
We have a similar dish to that. Well, it's not. We're not really,
like
but like it
like
looks
in
similar
like in your culture in Quesnel
in culture.
culture.
Uh, I forget the name of it, but it's just like chickpeas and like tomato sauce. Or not like
Oh,
sauce, but like you
oh,
know what
I
I'm talking
think
about?
I think I know. I think I have like I'm picturing it in my mind. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, there's so many foods in the world. Like that's so cool. Like there's no way anybody's ever going to be able to try every single thing that's ever created. But
I
like
know we're gonna
it all
die
looks so
with like
good.
not even
Yeah,
trying like percent of it.
it
There's
all
just so
looks so
many.
good. Like I made spanakopita today, like that Greek thing with the feta cheese and the spinach. I've never
Oh
even
yeah,
like heard of that before. It's crazy. Yeah?
this is crazy.
It's like weird how they make it too. Like the phyllo pasta sheet thing is so thin. Like it ripped so easy. It wasn't horrible though. That's the same with like music. There's so much in the entire world and in the history there's been
I know.
more. Like there's
And there's so many like genres too that just like
yeah, like
aren't
there's
heard of.
you can't ever listen to every single bit of music no matter how hard you try. Or like eat every single different variant of food or like read every book. It's crazy to me how like books were so like it went from a time of irrelevancy to now they're very relevant, but they're starting to die out as technology becomes like more and more.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like a period where books were the biggest thing ever. Like even how they wrote on like papyrus paper in Egypt on the Nile when they would use the papyrus and turn it into paper, that was so cool. Like they figured out how to make books out of not even trees.
Do you think that people got hyped over the new scroll drop?
The new book drop, yeah, obviously, dude. Like imagine you're sitting there, it's like you're waiting for your favorite author to drop the next verse on their scroll and then it finally comes out. It's like when you're waiting for
There's
like
only one copy.
it's like waiting for Cardi to release a new album. You're waiting for your favorite Egyptian author to release a new scribe on their scroll.
And the new Wingdings just dropped. Check it out.
Dude, hieroglyphs are so like strange to me. Like they're so fascinating. They
How
look
did we? How did they come to that?
yeah, like hieroglyphs are so I, I don't know. Like it just they look so interesting how people can decipher a sentence from these little pictures. I remember I
but
had to
oh,
do
it has to look so complicated too,
yeah, like
because like you need
those
like context and like stuff.
yeah, exactly. Like those tablets that they found, the stone transcribing tablets. We probably don't even like half of the sentences we've read on like tombs and stuff probably aren't even right because we just have them out of context because we don't know like where this was and who it was like throughout their life, what happened to them. So half of the stuff we could be learning about like Egyptian hieroglyphics and what they're saying could just be completely irrelevant in terms of like context. Dude, like papyrus, I don't know if it's papyrus paper, but I I found like you can scrape off pieces of like ink on certain old types of paper because like that's what happened with the Bible or whatever. If there's like a king that didn't like one of the rules, it was like now you're gonna have 18 wives. So but like you could just scrape off the ink from this paper, and I want to know what kind of paper that you could just scrape the ink off of, like how it was used. Oh, like speaking of old inventions, dude, that the never ending fire that I think it was
Ooh.
Romans, maybe Greeks, like that goes under the water and it still burns. That's crazy to me.
How did we do that?
Yeah, like how did nobody think to relay that message of how to make it? Like why did that get so hidden? I get like you can't give it out to like your rivals, but like keep it like passed down through generations. That's a crazy recipe. Same with like
Dude, that's a crazy skill.
same with like Roman concrete. That thing it's been around for like 3500 years or like more even probably. They just it doesn't break. Like
Dude, drop the recipe.
it degrades at such a slow rate that it's just crazy to me that we can it just happens, you know?
Like
Like it
imagine
just
if like we were like more efficient with that stuff. Like we like every single big like achievement we made, like
yeah,
like the fire underwater and the concrete, we just all like kept that as like common knowledge. We would be like in the future right
oh,
now.
we'd be so adapted. Like it'd be crazy how far along in society we'd be if if we developed at such a rapid pace like that, just ongoing. We could be very far ahead. We're already very far ahead. But yeah, like we're crazy far ahead in terms of like technology. Although we could very well be better because a lot of the countries that I like, I don't know. It's just they merged all of the great creations together and sort of forget about not
Violence and
not very great countries at the moment. Like Haiti is one of the most poor countries in the world, and it's like a constant war going on there.
I know.
And it seems to like never get talked about anymore. And that's just like I thought that we were on their side, like as a developed country, and that we could try and stop a Cold War that's going on. That like we know how Cold Wars work. They destroy like they destroyed some of America. Or not Cold War, Civil War, sorry. But yeah, like it I don't know why we wouldn't do something to help fix it.
Mhm.
But yeah. Dude, I've just been looking at hieroglyphs. They're so cool. Like I did a project on one in like grade 6 maybe.
That's
And it was like on some gods. It was sick. Like
that's
I forget the name of the god. It was a falcon head god, I think. Falcon head Egyptian god.
that's that gotta be like a couple. The
Yeah,
couple of
they
them.
do have a couple, but if I look at him, then I'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, who was it? I don't know, dude, but it was so cool. Like I love learning about all these different like religions in the world. They're so awesome.
Crazy how like depending where you live and like your life experience, you have like draw different like conclusions on
Yeah.
how you.
Yeah, that's nuts to me. Like in Egypt, they believed all of these like sacred beliefs about all of their gods, and like cats were a worshipped being. But then you go north, and then back then, like Greeks and Romans believed in also so many different gods. Like the similarities on that are like so cool to me. But like it's just there's so many different gods. It's crazy to think like each person is available like for a certain thing. You have one like the god of Hermes, the god of speed or whatever it was that he was.
Yeah.
He was fast. Like that was his one thing in life. That'd be
That's
so
all he had
cool.
going for him.
That's all he had. He was just a real fast dude. He could get moving sometimes. I think Ra was the Egyptian deity that I did a project on. He was like a falcon headed. I think he was like a sun deity. I know he was like just one of the most important ones, but like
One of the main characters.
one of the main characters, Ra. Because I remember he had one of those like it wasn't a cross. It's like a T with a loop on the top of it. He
Oh yeah,
always
yeah,
used
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah he always used to have one of those in his hand. That's what I
I forget
remember.
the name for it.
Yeah, I don't know the name for it, but it's so cool to me how many different cultures develop. Because even now, like the two different types of Christianity, I don't know like the exact differences between the two, but like there's two. There's Protestant and
I
Catholic.
know.
I can't really speak much on it because I don't know much about it, but like I don't know. There's two different ones. I don't. It's crazy. Like I thought they would have been the exact same through the
Yeah.
world, the beliefs of a certain religion, but I guess not because like it's cool. Like I have some Muslim friends. Ramadan is like it intrigues me because like being so faithful to your God that you don't eat like you fast for that long. It like they just have so much loyalty towards their God. Like it's just
Yeah.
cool. Like
And it's
I don't know.
also like cool, like how like different like religions and stuff have like different like levels of like spirituality to them. Like some of them just like laid back kind of, you don't have to like do like create like like Ramadan and stuff. You don't have to like be like devoted to your God or like do any like acts of devotion. You just kind of like go up to church and then you're good.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Like spirituality is like say example for like Gaia. That's the in Greek mythology I think is like the personification of Earth, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the ancestral mother or whatever. She's like one of the main things. Like people people like go into their pressure points or whatever, their chakras, and they like feel in touch with whatever it is, but they go in spirituality and they feel connected to these gods like physically.
Yeah, have you ever
Like
heard the story of like this one guy? I forget his name is, but like he raised his hand right for his whole like one day he wanted to be closer to God, so he raised his hand over his head, and then for now for the rest of his life, like he can't use that arm anymore because there's no blood in it, but it's like permanently like raised up in the sky. It'd be like more
I did
connected with
hear of
God.
him. I did hear of him. Amar Bharti, I think is his name. Amar Bharti. I think it was like 38 years he had his arm raised up for. His name was
That's
Amar
crazy.
Bharti. Like that's crazy. I don't know. Some people are so devoted to just to certain things. It blows my mind. You know? Like I don't know. Just keeping your hand up for that long, like ignoring your body's signs of like trying to put it down and holding it up there. It just shows how devoted you are to this god. Like you can't use that arm anymore. It's only for God. I don't know. It's just cool. You know? It's just awesome. I love religions.
I
They're
love barbecue New
Do
burger.
you want a new?
Let's get a new one going in here. I feel like we've been going off of one prompt for a bit long.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you think people should be allowed to own weapons?
See, this is a big thing.
Oh,
Like it's a
that's like
very controversial topic. In the United States, I know it's a very touchy topic because of how many casualties happen per year. I feel like they should do a bit more of a check in certain
Mhm.
countries with allowing firearms to be licensed to people. Because you look at it and like some people get away with having like they have a criminal record. They still get away with having a gun because like either the check wasn't thorough enough or something got skimmed over or just got missed entirely.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just like I feel like they should be so thorough. Like it shouldn't just be like a you go into the shop one day, they do a little check on you, and the
Yeah,
next day you come back in and you can get a gun. I feel like it should be like a pretty tedious process to make sure you don't have anything. Like you should bring in your own paperwork from the government saying like here's the reason why I have it. Like here's my like my hunting license, like my core, my PAL, so I'm legally registered to have this gun. Here's like a background check on me, any previous offenses that I've had, just so like they can
Yeah.
decide whether or not to issue this deadly weapon to whoever they feel like. It's just as long as they're used responsibly,
Yeah.
feel like I feel like they can be allowed because a lot of them are used in safe context in terms of hunting and supplying your own food. Because that's how a lot of people live. Like they don't eat straight from the grocery store; they do survive from the wild. But yeah, I don't know. It's touchy.
I also feel like we're never gonna really like strike a balance with that, like ever. Because as society, we're always like fighting ourselves. We're never really gonna like
Yeah.
find a balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's either we have to ban it all or allow it all, which both of those aren't like the ideal outcome.
Yeah. Like I don't think we have like this scale. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a civilization, like a tier 1 universe or whatever, like as the
Oh yeah, I
civilization.
know that.
We're not even a tier 1 on our own scale.
I know we're like a
Like
7.5 last I checked.
we're not even the most primitive basic like coexisting level on our own scale of being able to like control yourself as well as others being able to correspond with that behavior. Like that's we need to
Crazy.
do better as an entire Earth. Did you see
If
that?
you found like
Sorry, go ahead.
okay, okay. If you found aliens 100%, no matter how like unadvanced they're definitely gonna surpass us because as us, we core like just like, kill each other for
Oh,
no
100,
reason.
100%. Like we are just a genocidal race of beings. There's no
I
need
know.
for like the amount of death that goes on in Earth. But then again, there's also not need for the amount of life that goes in Earth. Like there is very much overpopulation in some parts of the world, which it is unfortunate due to the circumstances of the countries and them not being very highly educated on the dangers of it. But I feel like instead of countries being so rich and being at the top of the scale, I feel like we need to almost have a sort of level of communism and just help out struggling countries to the point where they can coexist with themselves and others and not have these torrential wars with each other and just being able to survive on their own. You know, like the world is we've already messed it up far enough. Like the biggest hole in the ozone layer is in the Antarctic. It's melting through all the ice. Studies were saying like maybe 2040 that the ice was going to start to melt and it was going to be like we couldn't do anything else to change it. like it was an irreversible change once it got to 2040. That year has been changed back to 2030 now because of how little we've done to stop it in the past like 6 years. We just completely disregarded all of science's notices to change. And now we only have 7 years left before there's a detrimental change. All of the ice in the Arctic starts to melt rapidly, and we can't do a single thing to stop it, meaning the Earth will flood eventually. There will be another mass extinction event like there has been in the past many times before, and will most likely be gone. The only animals that'll survive will be the same small little rodent creatures that humans once evolved out of from way back before dinosaurs. Some very many water creatures will come back into existence, like the Cambrian explosion will probably be a reference to what's going to happen if the entire world floods. There's going to be blue whales will get 3 times the size as they normally are. More creatures will develop, like anneliths, I think they're called, the big shrimp-looking things. They'll come back, I'm sure, or something like that. Like there will be macro life on Earth, like there once was with the dinosaurs and everything else. However, there will be a major extinction event with all of the land animals, all of the polar animals that need colder climates to survive, like narwhals, polar bears, penguins, like seals. All of these colder climate needing animals, they'll die out very horrifically because of not being built for the climate that they're being set to live in. Like polar bears are already coming down from the north into grizzly bear country and making a hybrid bear because they don't have enough ground to live on in their own ecosystem. It's just crazy that we've caused this much damage and we've been here barely at all in the entire scheme of things. We've been here for like a fraction, maybe a percentage of the entire Earth's existence, and we've done this much damage in such a short time. Just ruined it.
I hate us so much, you humans.
Just like nobody feels like they can do anything just because it's a small scale thing, but like when everybody's like, oh, the next person will do it because I can't do anything, then everybody's doing that and nothing gets fixed.
Yeah.
Like some of the more developed countries, like Norwegians, like Norway, Sweden, they have done such an efficient job at maintaining their ecosystem, like in terms of pollution and littering. They've had to get garbage and recycling shipped in from other countries so that way they can recycle. Like they have like 120% efficiency rate of recycling. They've recycled all of the recyclable material in their own country. They had to get stuff imported from other countries.
And they had to buy like actual like trash from other countries to recycle it.
Yeah, like they care more about where these countries' trash and recycling goes than the actual countries do. Which says something. They have a really good government, but the other countries just they don't realize what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be too late when everybody finally decides to try and do something. Do we have another topic to go off of? This one, depending how long this next topic goes, it could be the last. How long have we been going for?
We've been going for about 40 minutes. What do you think is the best way to get your food in your like ideal life? How would you get it all?
That's ideally it would be
Take the
like
lead on that. Take the lead
it'd
on
be
this
like
one, yeah.
sustainably. It'd be like sustainably like raised or like hunted, right? And then I would buy it off of the person who did it sustainably. Ideally, of course, because like fact like farming like animals is kind of like Like in like a very like ideal world, we wouldn't be doing that necessarily. Like meat would be like a luxury
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like not ethical.
yeah. Like a lot of hunters that I know, like a lot of my family is hunts as well. My uncle even has like a his own butcher shop that he'll hunt and sell it to people. But they're very ethical in the way they do things, and like they use every part of the animal that they can. They respect the aspect of taking this animal's life to provide for your own.
Hmm.
And like that's I feel like that's the exact way to teach new hunters who feel like they're going to support their life by killing animals, because some people just take it as a granted thing, like, oh yeah, I can kill all of these deer every day of the week and eat them all. But you should only have to kill one and preserve it and make it last, and really it respect the fact that it's like it's giving its entire life that it's built up for it, for you to have it and gain nutrients from it. And it's just like I think it's a good way to think about things. Like it really brings a morality aspect into it. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Because all those like big corporations are like really heartless about it. Like like you were saying, like McDonald's and stuff. Like the fact that like they have to have like the perfect potato instead of just like taking like even like the ones that are like okay to eat and like taste exactly the same but just like look different. That's like crazy.
yeah, like they just the consumerism of all of the big corporate products in the world, and it's very frustrating. But you know, there's not really much you can do about it when it's got such a reputation with everything in the world that no other company is going to be able to stop it getting what it wants. Like there's if you want to become like a morally correct company, and you stop doing that, like you stop spraying all of these pesticides, you could just because like you realize that it's morally incorrect, other companies won't care because it's still profit to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very inconsiderate. Think that might wrap it up for this podcast.
The
For
end of
this
the 12 cast.
the first of the 12 cast has been a very enticing, insightful project. Glad to see how this turns out.
Wow. Well, thank you very
Can't wait for the
much
next one.
to our hosts. Um, that'll wrap it
Thank
up.
you. Thank you for having us as the producer.
Yeah,
This has been good. Glad to contribute to the channel. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
take care everybody.